Welcome back for another book review. Today we're talking about this one. So this is the Little Big Book of White Spells by, I want to say it's Ileana, I could be wrong, and that last name, I don't know, Abrev maybe? Names? I suck at them with this book. So as the title kind of suggests, this is a collection of various spells. I think the title's a little misleading because it's actually multiple books that are hunked together into one. They did this a while ago with Llewellyn, and they did it with Silver Ravenwolf's like mini books that she used to have. They did the same here. So it's actually a collection of, I think it was like 3 different books. Because you have white spells for love, white spells for protection, white spells on the go. Each one has its own introduction, its conclusion. The spells kind of are the same, but kind of not. So they go through, and they, I don't know, they kind of vary. Some are really, really simple. It's like, basically charge this crystal, use this crystal, or use this oil or whatever. And it's like, maybe like 2 lines of a spell. And then others are multiple pages. Like, here's just like an example where it's like, it's not a whole lot going on. And then other ones, it's like multiple huge ingredients list, lots of stuff to do. So it's got a variety of different spells in here. Obviously it's going to be themed around those 3 main other books that were themed to their specific spell types, and this is just a collection of them. I gave this one a 3 out of 5, and out of my 3s, as I mention every time, I split my 3s into their own 3 categories. This is in the good. It's not a bad book. Out of the 3s, we gotta remember 3 represents the middle between the extremes, and it's like, it's leaning towards pretty good, but it's not quite a 4. For the most part, this book is pretty good. There was some spells that I was intrigued by, but there's also a lot that I don't agree with the author on. There's a lot where you have to consider where your own ethics and your morals lie and see if it's something you would consider, you know, and there's lines of like, you know, I was reading through it and of course my current hyperfocus it always comes to mind, but it's like, at what point do you consider the consent of your children? And as very gradually planning for pagan parenting, like, why not have your kids do this stuff for themselves and like have it, you know, at some point, like when, especially if they're in school, they're going to events, why not encourage them to do it themselves? Why are you doing it? Again, consent, how does that apply? And then in marriages and stuff, and there was a lot of, sorry, of course, when I go to record, the garbage trucks. But anyways, so there's this other thing of like, with relationships and marriage of like, oh, just like, if you decide to get over infidelity, then just do the spell and like, la la la, I'm gonna trust you again. It's great. And like, personally, that's a deal breaker for me. Like, once a cheater, always a cheater. Goodbye. And there's a lot, and there's like spell to just like magically get rid of depression and anxiety. And I don't know, there's a lot of it where I was torn, because there are some fun ones that look kind of interesting. And then there's some that I'm like, And also, again, my own things kick in of like, when you do these spells, why is it always fertility for you to get pregnant? Why is there never ones to help in the process of adoption, IVF, surrogacy? Why is it not included in your spells? Like, I promise, when I get to that stage, I will be writing a book about it. I will be talking about it. I'm not there yet. Like, I'm working on the money side, so you watching this, you're helping in that journey. But yeah, none of these books talk about that, and it sucks. And it's like, okay, that's great, I guess, but a few here and there will throw that in, and it's like, thank you for remembering we exist, and that not everyone has the luxury of their bodies just function and you can just get pregnant. That is a luxury that you should appreciate, much like your ability to form clots. Another problem of mine. Just enjoy your ability to cut yourself and it just fixes itself. It's a wonderful thing. Or if you get a nosebleed and it just stops. Wild. But yeah, so a lot of the stuff I'm like, it's not bad. It's just, it's not, I don't agree with a lot of the things, and some of the spells were almost too simplistic and some were kind of, you know, standard. So I was pretty like, it's still a 3, but it's like a good 3. The fact that it's 3 books combined into one, I think, was a big deterrent for me, because how hard would it have been to take a day to edit that and revise it into one book? It would not have been difficult. It is easy. All the author had to do, I think there was maybe one new conclusion at the very end that the author had to write. So like a couple paragraphs, and that was it. And then everything else was just already done, just plop it in and not revise it at all. So you have same introduction stuff, same conclusion stuff, and it's like, why not just edit it a little bit to make it flow into a new book? Even if you're using the same like spells and stuff, just the introduction to them, just change it just a little bit. I didn't like that. I felt very lazy on the part of either the publishing house and the editors involved and or the author. I don't know who had the final say on that. Just feel like they could have flowed that a little bit nicer instead of like, okay, we literally just took the files for these 3 books and plopped them together, because that's all they did. And again, maybe a little bit at the very, very end of like a couple paragraphs of a conclusion after another conclusion. There's also no sources, which I don't love. I would like to know where you're getting your information, because there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, where did you learn this? Because I don't know. Why didn't you tell me? It's nowhere for any of them. So I would recommend this if you are wanting to just collect spells. If that's like your thing, you're needing some spell ideas, this is a good place to get started. If you're an intermediate witch and you're like, ooh, I want some ideas, this will give you ideas. But I would love to know your thoughts on it in the comments down below. A huge thank you to my patrons. If you would like to support me and get access to exclusive content, I got book reviews that are exclusive to Patreon. I have my audiobooks, and I have monthly vlogs and just a bunch of other stuff. So if you want to check it out, it is patreon.com/nightwillowcrafts. And of course, thank you for watching to the very end of my videos. It means the world to me. I am so excited that I am monetized. I was rewatching one of my other videos from last month and I was like, oh, look at me being so sad. And then it happened. And to be honest, out of all of the revenue streams, which some people get weird talking about money, but to be honest, I feel like transparency is the best policy. And so YouTube so far has been the reigning supreme, I think. It's still too early to say for this month, but I think it's gonna surpass every other thing that I'm doing. And it's like, I enjoy doing this the most anyways. So it's like, huh, maybe. I'll stick with my crazy publishing goals for this year, but maybe I don't have to focus so hard on that because it's not doing anything anyways. This month I sold the most random one I expected yet. The 3rd book in my original trilogy. Like, I haven't sold any copies of the 2nd book, so I'm like, yeah, okay. So that was different. I did not anticipate that one. But again, like, book sales are just so not happening, and I also refuse to play the game of pay Amazon to promote the product that they're hosting and trying to figure out how to post it to Barnes & Noble because you have to reformat everything. It's just a lot of work. It's like, I'm just watching that and like, no offense, but my Patreon it's pretty much a ghost town. I have a couple people that are there, but I don't really get interaction. And it's the same couple people, so I love you. You are the best. But also, it's just like the 5 of us. And so it's also not like gonna pay the life that I'm wanting to create, because again, I don't have the luxury of just like, have sex, get pregnant. I get to go, I have to pay for multiple people's lawyers. I have to pay to potentially inject myself with so many hormones to create eggs, to then have a surgery to remove them, to then try to be like, hey, cool, I would like to be a mom. I have my eggs, I just can't carry them. Can you do that for me? And I will pay you so much money. And then meet a lovely surrogate who will potentially carry my kids. That is expensive. And so seeing my YouTube being like, just like steadily creeping up compared to all of the others, it's like, oh my God, are you the one? Are you the one? And it's great because I love YouTube. I've loved YouTube for so long. So it's like, this makes me want to do it more. So anyways, if you've watched to the end of this and all of these rambles, thank you. You are helping in the process of eventually becoming a mom. And again, I will continue writing books, but maybe this will be like the full-time job and then writing books is like a hobby. Maybe. or like a part-time gig. I don't know. But yeah, because YouTube is a lot easier to do a little bit of work and then you can have the rest of your day to do whatever and get other stuff done, where trying to do everything is a lot. So anyways, that's not the point of this. But yeah, we talked about this book. Do you remember when we did that? That felt like a while ago. So anyways, thank you for watching till the very end, and until next time, blessed be.